Why do child-free women have to explain why they choose to be child-free to women who have children? Being a mother is almost seen as the end goal or the ultimate role for a woman to play. It's the craziest form of propaganda, if you ask me. I think there are many ways in which a woman can validate her life and live a truly fulfilling, if not more fulfilling life than someone who is a mother. There are many other ways in which that can be done. And I don't see it that way. I don't look at children as a way to validate my womanhood. I don't look at a child as a way to cement the fact that I am a woman and I can reproduce and I can create life. I don't look at it that way. Another one is a huge assumption about happiness. Oh, this one really irks me, okay? At some point, we're all going to need to have this conversation. Hello, hi everybody. Welcome back to another video. This is now a real talk video, and we're going to be talking about being child-free and by choice. And there's a very big reason why I wanted us to have this conversation because, as you know, I am in my 30s. I'm 37. Can you believe that? I'm 37, and I am seeing this conversation pop up a lot in social media, in pop culture, in just societal culture. And I think I am at the ripe old age to have this conversation with you guys. One of the big reasons why I wanted to discuss this, I wanted to discuss it from last year and then never really got around to doing that. However, I'm here now, and it's largely due to the fact that because I am a creator and I am on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, X, all of them, Facebook, LinkedIn, and my content creation is a large part of my life. And due to that, I have received quite a lot of comments in some of my videos and all of that of people being rather ageist towards me, women being rather ageist towards me. And one of the I find it funny. In this video, we are going to be watching some clips that I pulled from TikTok from child-free women, and I'm also going to be addressing some of the reasons why I feel that women who are mothers and also married have a certain disdain or a certain look that they have towards women who are child-free by choice and women who are not married. But the whole idea of today's conversation is women who are child-free by choice. And I really want us to have this conversation while we look at some videos, and I'm going to add a little bit of my 2 cents to it because I think I'm actually getting to the point where I'm really tired of having to explain not only to the people that are in my life that I see regularly, but also having to look at it on social media and think, why do child-free women have to explain why they choose to be child-free to women who have children? And I think it is a very important conversation to have. We are going to start off with a TikTok that I've saved a few that I think we should look at and address. And then we are going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Women who are child-free have always felt this sense of, why do I need to explain that I'm child-free, right? Why do I need to explain that I don't want to have children? Why do I need to explain myself? Whoever asks a woman who has children, why do you have children? And a large part of why I wanted to do this video is largely because 99.9% of my friends are mothers, and all of them say to me that it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you decided not to have any children at this stage. It's a great thing. It's fine. I wish I was you. I wish I could have made the decisions that you made and all of that. They don't regret being mothers. However, they also applaud me for the decision that I made not to have children at this current point in my life. So I think a lot of us know that having children, or the decision to have children by many women, is largely influenced by societal, psychological, emotional, spiritual factors. Yes, this might not be entirely universal to everyone in the world, but largely in many spaces, in many environments, in many cultures, and in many traditions, being a mother is almost seen as the end goal or the ultimate role for a woman to play. It's the craziest form of propaganda, if you ask me. However, it's become so ingrained in women that the choice of other women not to have children is often frowned upon. It's often seen as if there is some sort of problem. Why don't you want to have children? Oh, who's going to take all of your things once you pass away? Who's going to be left with all of your assets? And who are you doing this whole living life thing for if you're not having children? Oh, don't you want a little bit of a mini-me running around? Don't you want somebody to continue your legacy? It's almost like, and it's largely women. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's largely women who pose these questions to child-free women. And I find it rather upsetting because as the person that I am and how I grew up, children have never been a part of my daily conscious thought as an adult that one day I want to have children. I've never looked at mothers with their children and thought to myself, oh, I can't wait to one day have a child or whatever. I've never had those thoughts. Like to believe it or not, I've never had those thoughts. It's only last year where I was thinking to myself, oh, the thought of having a child, I don't know. But a large part of me still said, no, I'm actually quite fine without having any children. And I think it's largely based on the fact that society has ingrained in us this need for women to fulfill the ultimate role, which is to be a mother, and in some cases to be a mother and a wife. And I find it really upsetting because it will be the very same women who are mothers and wives going off at women who are child-free by choice. Now, we're not talking about women who became mothers due to other circumstances and due to, not by choice. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use the words specifically, but I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about women like myself who choose not to have children at this current place in my life. Even at the time, if you've been on this channel for a long time, you know that at some point, I did fall pregnant and I had a miscarriage. But even when I did fall pregnant, I was very upset about it. I was not okay with it. There was no shred of me that was excited to be in this place. There was no shred of me that said, oh, I cannot wait. And oh my God, it's finally happening. This. No, absolutely not. There are many factors as to why I've just felt like I don't want to have children, and that should be okay. But I find it very, very problematic and concerning to have other women look at women who are child-free by choice and then look at them and say that, why aren't you having children? Why do you decide not to have children? When us child-free women never, hardly ever ask women who have children and who are mothers, why did you choose to have those children? Why? We never do that. We never do that because I think largely because it's not our place. But for some reason, women who are mothers and wives feel like they are justified in asking someone who does not have a child why they don't have that child. I think there are many ways in which a woman can validate her life and live a truly fulfilling, if not more fulfilling life than someone who is a mother. There are many other ways in which that can be done. But there's a large reason why this is happening. And I think this is something that we need to talk about. So when I said societal norms, I definitely mean culture. So it's ingrained in a lot of cultures that being a mother is the ultimate role. It's the end game. This is you will have achieved in your life once you become a mother. So to someone who is not a mother, it's almost seen as if we are defying the rules and laws that have been set out, laws that have been set out in place for women, and how women should be in society and what women should do to fulfill their role as women. So a lot of the time, I largely think that when a mother comes over to a child-free woman and says, why don't you want to have children? Why don't you want to have this? I think there's a large part of her that feels like me not having a child is doing a disservice not only to myself but to my culture and my family and my lineage and my background and all of this. Almost like me having a child should be able to be the ultimate goal and fulfillment for me. And I don't see it that way. I don't look at children as a way to validate my womanhood. I don't look at a child as a way to cement the fact that I am a woman and I can reproduce and I can create life. I don't look at it that way. However, I think largely that's how society sees it. That is why it is ingrained in so many cultures and minds of women that transcends generations. That even now, women just don't get the fact that why would you choose not to be a mother? Why would you choose not to be a mother and feel the need in justifying that, which I think is quite problematic in and of itself. Also, I think mothers ask questions like this to child-free women as a way to validate their choices. So they chose to have the children. Right? I genuinely think that it's another way in which they can also validate their choices. So it validates that the choice that they made was the correct one. They will ask child-free women, why have you decided not to have children? And then try and explain and sugarcoat and put in fancy ribbons why it's so important to have children, because I think it's a way of them validating their choices. They're trying to prove to themselves that the decision that they chose to make for being a mother was the right one. And it's okay that they chose to do that, when I, myself, did not ever say that it wasn't okay. But the mere fact that they want to justify that to me and sit and explain it to others on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, or wherever anyone is willing to listen, I think it's largely because they want to validate the choice that they made, as if the choice that they made was the right one. And the choice that I'm making is not the right one. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. There are many things that I feel with regards to how child-free women are treated by women who are mothers and wives as well. I think there's many things that they do and say that becomes a huge projection and reflection of what you feel might be lacking, or what you did wrong, or how you wish things could have been different, that you're projecting it onto me. And you're trying to sugarcoat it with, but the ultimate role or the ultimate goal should be the fact that you want to be a mother. Where? How? Why should that be the ultimate goal? Why should that be the ultimate role, right? That's a lot of child-free women, and child-free by choice, are choosing to be child-free because they're quite comfortable with their lives that way. They still live a very full, validated, fulfilling life without having children. They get to do whatever they want to do at their own time. Some women are actually honest enough with themselves, because I went down a whole entire Reddit wormhole of women who chose to be child-free, or women who are parents and are regretful parents as well. And I went through a wormhole of that. And I realized that some women choose to be child-free because they know themselves well enough. They are so self-aware that they know that they wouldn't be the greatest mother if they had a child. And I think that is so honest and so accountable, and saying to yourself that I'm brutally honest with myself. I am too selfish to have a child. I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying that some women might be saying and using that reasoning that I'm too selfish to have a child. I won't have time for this child. I want my money to go to what I want it to go to. I don't want to find myself spending money for shoes and clothes and school fees and medical aid for a little human. I'm incapable of taking care of plants. So why should I take care, or how am I going to manage to take care of a little human? Do you understand? So I genuinely feel like some child-free by choice women make that difficult decision to say, I'm going to be child-free by choice because I know that I wouldn't be able to fulfill this role. And that should be granted and understandable and accepted without need for explanation even further. Do you know what I'm saying? So I genuinely feel like the discourse on child-free women and the attack on child-free women by mothers and women who do have children is truly insane. And I think one of the other reasons, and this one is going to sting a little bit, but one of the other reasons why I feel like mothers who go off at child-free women and try to police them and try to impose their thoughts and views on children and being child-free and being mothers on child-free women could also be from a place of jealousy and regret. Let me take a sip for that one because that's insane. It could be influenced because it's from a place of jealousy or regret. They regret having made that decision. They are regretful parents. If you go onto Reddit, you would be so shocked at how many, there's a subreddit called Regretful Parents that I went down on like a wormhole while I was researching for this video, where there are so many people, women and men, who regret being parents. And I largely think that could also be a catalyst as to why child-free women are barraged the way that they are about why don't they have children. I think it stems largely from jealousy and regret. Child-free women don't have to worry about paying school fees, don't have to worry about taking care of anyone other than themselves. Child-free women don't have to worry about making sure that your child has a trust fund or is well taken care of or goes to the best schools or this, that, and the other. Child-free women just have themselves to look after. And I think a large part of that is that it stems from jealousy, or maybe they just regret having children. Maybe they realized afterwards that this was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this, which that is for them to go through. That's something that I do not want to speak to and I do not want to speak about. I can only speak about me being the child-free by choice woman that I am. And this is what I see is the large reason why so many women who are mothers feel the need to comment on women who are child-free by choice. Before I move on to the next point, let's get into this video, which I saw and I think is so important for us to take note of, okay? Let's get into it.
I used to be on the fence about having kids until I came across a book that pushed me over the edge from being a fence sitter to child-free. This is page 6 of The Baby Decision. Do you want this job which I'm about to offer you? If you accept it, you will have to do it for 20 years. Before you commit, you are not allowed to try it out or even meet your boss or coworker. Consequently, you may have no idea if you will like the job or the person, nor will you know until you start it if you love it or hate it. During the 3 months of your apprenticeship, you will endure sleepless nights, 24-hour shifts, 7 days a week. Sound good so far? But wait, there's more. For this grueling job, you will not receive a salary. In fact, you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to do it. Oh, and there's also no clause for quitting, at least for not the first 18 years. Well, when you put it like that, I don't want that job. And I'm not sure who in their right mind would.
All right, so I'm not going to agree with that last part of I'm not sure who in their right mind would. I think that people should be able to make their own decisions. You want to have a child, have a child. If you don't want to have a child, that's fine too. But I think the analogy that was used here in terms of the job offer, I want to just read it to you. The job offer, I think this analogy was fantastic because it shows you exactly what is going to happen when you have a child, but it's using it in the context of a job, right? So you will not know when you get the job whether you will like the job or the person. You will not know whether you will hate it or love it. During the 3 months of your apprenticeship, you will endure sleepless nights, 24 hours of shifts, 7 days a week. Sound good so far? So if you think about it in that way, which is naturally how I think about it as well, that would I be okay knowing that this is what is to be expected? Is this something that I can fulfill? And don't get me wrong, I love children and children love me. And if you've been following me for a while on my platform, you know that this is absolutely true. And I love being around my friends' kids and I have a good time and I don't get annoyed. In actual fact, I love spending time with them, their kids, and my siblings as well, my younger siblings, right? But for me, this is how exactly I would view it. I would look at it like, well, once this person comes into my life, that's it. I'm responsible for this person. In context to this TikTok, you are going to have this job for at least 20 years. So I'm responsible for this person for at least 20 years. And we know that in the Black community, it could be a little bit longer as well. So I think about things like that. And I think to myself, am I in that place where I'm ready or I want to do something like that? And if I'm not, that should be okay as well. And I think she used, or this book is a great contextual analysis where you can look at the whole idea of having children and decide that if it were set in a work setting and this is the job that you're going to get, but these are the conditions, would you be okay with it? I think it's a fabulous example, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Let's listen to this one.
It blows my mind that every time I say that I don't want kids, people think it's like an attack on their life choices. Or try to convince me like, I promise it'll be the best thing that you ever do. It'll change your life in the best way, yada yada. What it reminds me of is when somebody is trying to tell you that whatever they're eating is like so delicious, but it's a food that you genuinely don't like. And you're like, I'm so glad that you're loving it and I trust you. I bet it is delicious, but I don't want any. I don't like that. That's exactly how I feel about wanting kids.
Right? So she used it in the context of food. So essentially, if you're sitting with somebody and they are eating aubergines, right? Or eggplant, right? And you know that you don't like eggplant. You know that you don't like aubergines. That person might say, do you want some? And you're instantly going to say, no, I don't want any. Thank you. And they'll leave it at that. But the attack that comes from women, mothers, towards child-free women by choice is the fact that how can you say you don't want to have children? It's a lineage. It's your history, genetics. Don't you want there to be somebody who's living in the world long after you're gone? Like there's all these reasonings and explanations to try and justify why having the child is the right thing to do. And I find this quite offensive. I know what I know and I know what I want and I know what I don't want. Should I change my mind at a later stage? Sure, but it is not your place or position to try and influence that or to try and change my mind for me. I know what I want at the time. And I think this is the one thing that sits quite awkwardly with so many women, especially women who are mothers, and when they are addressing women who are not mothers, who are child-free by choice, right? Another one is a huge assumption about happiness. Oh, this one really irks me, okay? It's almost like if you do not have a child and you're child-free by choice, how can you be happy? Because children are the ones that bring the happiness. Children are the ones that are the epitome of a life fulfilled. Children are the ones who validate your life. No, I don't think so. I don't see it that way. It's almost like mothers look at women who do not have children and say, well, it seems as if, are you happy? Are you happy to be 37 and not have children and live alone? Are you happy with that? Yeah, I am. Like, I don't know what more we would need to do or say, or how we would need to explain something like this to confirm that, yes, I am quite sufficiently happy with the fact that, that I don't have children. And it's this assumption that with children comes happiness. And we've realized with these subreddits and with a lot of women coming out to say that I am not happy. I'm a single mother. I'm not happy. I'm struggling. I'm going through all of it. I don't want this. I don't know how single mothers do it and all of this. This is when we start to see it. So many women who are mothers are actually coming out and saying that they feel like they are regretting the choices that they've made, that it's not all rosy-dozy and all of that. And I picked up one TikTok for us to have a look at by a mom. Okay, let's do it.
Bro, being a single mom is literally the hardest shit ever. Like, you cannot do anything. I literally got like one side of my weights racked at the gym because I tried to work out, and they're calling me over the intercom to come get him literally after 5 minutes.
Now, I've talked about this on my platform a lot of times. If you scroll down, you'll see videos about it. But this is exactly why I can't do motherhood. In this day and age where you're not guaranteed a solid partner to stick around throughout the journey, it's not a risk I'm willing to take. I previously stated in another video that marriage will not save you from single motherhood, and I'm going to expand on that thought a little bit. What I didn't say in that video is marriage does not make you immune to life's problems, and that's what a lot of people are not understanding. Nobody likes to talk about it and say it, but your spouse can pass away. Yes, you would be considered a widower or a widow, but that would make you a single parent. Your partner can become chronically ill. That's a real possibility in life. My mom always told me, never have more kids than you can handle taking care of by yourself. And now I understand why. Because at any moment, it doesn't matter if you're married or not, life can put you in a situation where you have to take care of a kid by yourself. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take at any point.
So for me, that was a really hard. So she stitched the other woman's video at the beginning. And for me, that was really hard for me to watch. My heart ached for her because, yes, she's a single parent. But I realize how she can't get to do the things that she wants to do in her own time without the potential possibility of she needs to run to the kid's school, or she needs to do this, or maybe she can't even afford to go to the gym because she needs to take care of her kid and money is a bit tight and that kind of thing. So some of us think about those things as well, that I need to be, which is what the second woman was saying, that her mother was saying to her that don't have kids if you cannot take care of them, or find yourself in a position where you can take care of them and yourself included. And I think it is so important to see things like this so that we stop romanticizing motherhood and looking at it as the ultimate role and the end all be all. I think for me, it's not like that. One of the other things that I genuinely feel, and I'm going to close it with this one, is gender roles, right? So it alludes back to the fact that motherhood is the ultimate goal. There is nothing, it's the ultimate role in your life that you can fill, okay? Not being a successful career woman, not being a successful traveler, not having money, not taking care of your whole entire family and not having a child. Motherhood is seen as the ultimate role. And for me, I'm just like, but why can't my career be seen as a role that's also solidly up there? Why can't my traveling the world and wanting to live my life my way, spend my own money for myself or spend it for other people in my life, but not a child, why is that not seen as enough? Why isn't that also an ultimate role? The fact that I am taking care of 4 households by myself without a child, but I'm looking after this kid and this sibling and this aunt and this uncle. Why isn't that also a role to aspire to? I don't understand why motherhood becomes the role that is the ultimate role. And I would love for us to have a conversation about this, because I genuinely feel like there are so many people who look at motherhood as the ultimate end all and be all, and in turn treat child-free women, child-free by choice women, with a certain level of disrespect, honestly, with a certain level of disrespect, and in such a way that it's almost like child-free women are making the incorrect decision. I'm going to close this video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's talk about it. This is what Real Talk is going to be here for. And this is going to be a new segment called I Have Thoughts. I've got something to say. I don't know what I'm going to call the segment, but you will see it in the title. But it will fall under the Real Talk stable of videos, because I see things online and I have thoughts and I want to share them. Okay. And we're going to close off this video from a 50-something-year-old woman who says she is child-free by choice, and she's got a greatest way of explaining it. So I'll see you in the next one. We're going to roll out with this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you what else you would like me to discuss in the I Have Thoughts segment, because many of my segments are going to fall away. I'm going to keep a very select few of segments, and this is going to be one of them. So there will be the Just 10 with Kat, which will be a shorter version of a Real Talk video, and then there are going to be these deep dives where we actually look into something and we look into it like internally, and we dissect it in and out. So I would love to hear what stands out for you in terms of pop culture, or what's being discussed on the pop culture streets that you would like me to do a little bit of research on and speak on. This one was important to me because it directly impacts me, and I thought that I would love to get my 2 cents out there as well. So thank you so much for choosing me over and over again. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do like the video, subscribe, join the membership space if you care. There is a new video in there right now as we speak, in a stable of over 35 videos. So if you'd like to join and support the channel that way, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'm definitely humbled by all the members that are in the space currently. Thank you so much for being here. Let us watch this final video. We're going to roll out with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, sayonara.
Didn't want kids and still didn't want kids.
Hi, here I am, never wanted kids, and now 55 years old, I don't regret my decision. There will be a lot of people who will tell you that you will regret your decision, but there are many of us, 50 plus, who never have kids, who are living our best lives. And before Angry McTrolls-a-lot gets into the comments, let me just predict some of the things that they're going to say. I'm good at this. No, I don't have a house full of cats. No, I'm not sad and hiding my sadness. No, I'm not depressed. No, I'm not on depression medicine. No, I did not have childhood trauma. Yes, I grew up in a loving home. Yes, I'm in a long-term relationship. No, I don't care about my legacy. Weird thing to care about. Yes, I want people to have children if they want children. Yes, I like children. No, I don't feel sad. No, I don't feel lonely. No, I don't feel empty. No, I don't care if I die on my deathbed alone. No, my parents don't think I've robbed them of grandchildren. No, I don't care about the decline in the population. No, I don't think you should feel sorry for me. And no, I don't care what you think. Was that 18? I got 18. There'll be more. Listen, you're gonna have a lot of loud voices coming at you on this topic, but the only voice that you should pay attention to is your own, and it should always be the loudest.